Hello and welcome back. Today we'll be recapping a movie from 2018, The Equalizer 2. A retired Marine seeks vengeance, unleashing lethal skills and blurring the line between justice and retribution. Brace yourself for an unforgettable, pulse-pounding cinematic masterpiece that will leave you breathless. The film unfolds on the Turkish Railway, a remote stretch located 400 miles away from Istanbul. As the train rumbles along its track, the atmosphere is thick with tension. In strides, Robert McCall, a figure exuding quiet determination. He makes his way to the bar cart, where his target awaits. A Turkish man who callously snatched his own daughter from her American mother to inflict pain on his ex-wife. A dangerous game of cat and mouse begins. Sensing McCall's purpose, the Turkish man gives the order to his henchmen to eliminate the unwelcome intruder. Unfazed, he assesses the situation, his eyes calculating every move. With a flick of his wrist, he sets a timer, igniting a sense of urgency. And then, chaos erupts. The bar cart transforms into a battleground as McCall's lightning-fast fists collide with his adversaries. Bones shatter, flesh is pierced, and the air resonates with the sounds of violence. With each precise strike, McCall dispatches his foes, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. As the dust settles, he stands before the Father, a sliver of mercy in his eyes, offering a choice between redemption and doom. Meanwhile, in the heart of Boston, Grace, the mother who has endured anguish and longing, steps into her lawyer's office. There, awaiting her embrace, is her precious daughter. Tears stream down Grace's face as she clings to the little girl, their reunion a testament to the strength of a mother's love. In a twist of fate, McCall now finds himself behind the wheel as a Lyft driver, traversing the streets of the city. Among his passengers is a wise elderly man named Sam Rubinstein, entangled in his search for his long-lost sister. As McCall guides his passengers to their destinations, his observant eyes take a note of their stories, their struggles, and their hopes. One fateful night, a young woman named Amy enters McCall's car, her eyes clouded with pain and her spirit shattered. It becomes evident that she has fallen victim to a sinister act, drugged and violated. McCall's sense of justice propels him into action. He swiftly rushes her to the hospital, but he refuses to let the perpetrators go unpunished. Returning to the den of the assailants, McCall confronts them with a demand for accountability. When the leader of the gang lashes out, McCall employs a lethal weapon, his assailant's own credit card, slicing through the air with precision. Bones snap and bodies crumble as McCall metes out a brutal lesson, leaving the criminals broken in his wake. Across the ocean, in Belgium, a man named Mr. Calvert returns home to a scene of unimaginable horror. His wife lies battered and weeping, the remnants of a violent assault. In a chilling turn, three menacing figures, Resnick, Airy, and Kovac, emerge from the shadows, their intentions far from innocent. A gunshot rings out, extinguishing any flicker of hope, as Mr. Calvert's world is shattered in an instant. Back in McCall's everyday life, a neighbor named Fatima falls victim to senseless vandalism. Her once pristine garden is desecrated, its walls adorned with ugly graffiti. McCall takes it upon himself to rectify the injustice, wiping away the stains of hatred and despair. It is in this moment that he encounters Miles Whitaker, a young man whose aspirations as an artist intertwine with his fate. Miles offers his assistance, aware that every action has a price. McCall found himself at the local bookstore, eager to retrieve the new book he had ordered. To his surprise, the familiar face of Grace, the clerk, greeted him. However, what he didn't know was that Grace's daughter had recognized him as the mysterious savior from a past incident. The irony of their encounter added an unexpected twist to his visit. Returning home, McCall was greeted by the presence of Susan Plummer, who had already made herself comfortable. They shared a pleasant dinner together, but amidst their conversation, Susan inadvertently forgot that it was the day of McCall's late wife Vivian's birthday. She offered him a friendly suggestion to venture out in the world more, unaware of the emotional significance of the day. Later on, Susan engaged in a conversation with her colleague, Dave York, as he delved into the investigation of the murder of the Calberts. The case took them all the way to Belgium, where they meticulously examined the crime scene for any crucial evidence. Exhausted from the day's activities, Susan retreated to her hotel room, unknowingly trailed by two menacing thugs. As the thugs confronted Susan, their voices filled the room with demands for money. However, Susan displayed remarkable resilience and fought back, skillfully warding off their advances. The tension in the air escalated as the assailants tried to corner her within the confines of the bedroom, intensifying the suspense of the situation. In the midst of these events, McCall found himself engrossed in watching Miles, his young protege, diligently painting a wall. Suddenly, a call disrupted the tranquility of the moment. It was Susan's husband Brian delivering the devastating news of her untimely death. Overwhelmed by grief, McCall made the decision to fly to Washington, D.C. to attend the funeral and begin his own personal investigation into Susan's tragic demise. He meticulously reviewed camera footage from the hotel and meticulously analyzed crime scene photos for any clues that might lead him to the truth. Meanwhile, the two thugs, seeking refuge in their apartment, indulged in loud music, unaware of the impending danger. Their attention was drawn to a ringing phone that wasn't their own, leading them to discover an unfamiliar device lying on the floor. Their curiosity got the better of them as they answered the call, triggering an unexpected explosion from their radio that ended their lives abruptly. Unbeknownst to them, Resnick and his companions observed from a distance, having taken it upon themselves to eliminate the loose ends. McCall's investigation eventually led him to Dave, who had believed his former mentor to be dead. Their reunion sparked a chain of revelations, and McCall deduced that the thugs' deaths were merely a necessary measure to tie up loose ends. He began to suspect a connection between Susan's murder and the Calbert murders, leading him down a treacherous path of uncovering the truth. Keeping a watchful eye on Miles, McCall witnessed the young man's association with two local gangsters from the neighborhood. Driven by his protective instincts, McCall followed them to their apartment, skillfully incapacitating their guards, and seized their weapons. He confronted Miles, vehemently discouraging any involvement with these dangerous individuals, emphasizing the potential consequences of such a choice. While transporting a passenger who claimed to be headed for the airport, McCall's intuition alerted him to something amiss. Deliberately taking a wrong turn, he confronted the passenger about his true intentions, leading to a violent altercation. McCall skillfully maneuvered the car, using its motion to his advantage as he repeatedly struck his assailant with his elbow. The situation escalated as the passenger attempted to shoot McCall, only to be outwitted as McCall disarmed him and fired first. Seizing the assassin's phone, McCall discovered encrypted information, which he promptly destroyed along with the car, leaving no trace behind. Concerned for Brian's safety, McCall took him to a secure location, a safe house, until he could fully resolve the perilous situation. The fear of Brian being targeted as another potential loose end motivated McCall to take every precaution necessary. Seeking answers, McCall brought the mysterious phone to Dave's house, where he encountered Dave's wife and two daughters. As they exited the room, McCall discreetly revealed the incriminating information he had found on the phone, tracing its origin back to none other than Dave himself. Unveiling the shocking truth, McCall exposed Dave's involvement in illicit activities after everyone had presumed him dead. The revelation escalated the tension as Dave led McCall outside, where he was confronted by Resnick, Ari, and Kovac. McCall vowed to avenge Susan's death by eliminating them all, instilling a sense of anticipation and resolution within the narrative. In a final twist, McCall accepted a ride from Dave's wife, an act that seemingly taunted him. Miles finds himself at McCall's apartment, painting the wall for him. However, their peace is disrupted when Dave and Kovac attempt to break into the apartment. In the midst of the chaos, McCall calls Miles and instructs him to hide behind a secret spot behind the bookshelf. Reluctantly, Miles complies, but he soon starts to feel claustrophobic and uneasy. While Miles waits anxiously, McCall contacts Dave and reveals Miles' hiding place, hoping to protect him. As Miles believes he is about to be released, Dave surprises him at gunpoint and kidnaps him against his will. Meanwhile, McCall learns that his old hometown is being evacuated due to an approaching hurricane. Aware that the four villains are searching for him, he heads towards his old hometown. In a desperate attempt to find McCall, Kovac enters a shop where he mistakenly believes he spots him. However, McCall acts swiftly and shoots a harpoon through Kovac's head, eliminating him. Ari, another one of the villains, goes after McCall, but McCall manages to capture him first. McCall inflicts severe damage on Ari, slicing him from head to toe. Resnick follows McCall through yet another shop, but meets a grim fate as his stomach bursts open from a grenade explosion. Meanwhile, Dave positions himself atop a tower, aiming to snipe McCall. He contacts McCall and reveals that Miles is hidden away in a trunk. Dave threatens to harm Miles if McCall doesn't surrender. In a series of taunting shots, Dave attempts to intimidate McCall, but McCall cleverly shoots the tire of the car containing Miles, causing Dave to miss. McCall then ascends the tower, confronting Dave directly. In a tense face-off, Dave tries to stab McCall, but McCall's agility saves him. McCall retaliates by gouging out Dave's eye, taking his knife and stabbing him in the abdomen. He then finishes Dave off by slicing his neck from behind before throwing him off the tower. Dave's lifeless body smashes against the rocks below and is carried away by the ocean. McCall rushes to free Miles and discovers that the boy has been shot in the leg during the chaos. He brings Miles to his old house, where he tends to his wound and stops the bleeding. Inside, Miles stumbles upon photographs of McCall from his time as a soldier, as well as pictures of McCall with Vivian, likely a loved one from his past. Back at home, Fatima is pleasantly surprised to find her garden restored and a mural painted on the wall by Miles. The mural depicts scenes from Fatima's home country, evoking a sense of nostalgia. On the opposite wall, a poignant message reads, "I leave you with the best of myself." Additionally, we see Miles on a bus, engaging in conversation with a girl from his school. She notices a drawing he is working on, inspired by McCall. In another heartwarming moment, Sam is reunited with his sister Magda after McCall uses his connections to make it happen. The final scene shows McCall standing outside his old house, gazing out into the ocean, seemingly reflecting on his journey and the impact he has made on the lives of those around him. Thank you for tuning in. Share your thoughts about this movie with us in the comments section. Sincerely appreciate your time and support. We would be thrilled if you could hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. By subscribing, you won't miss out on any of our upcoming content. So stay connected and we'll catch you in the next one.